excited to share with you guys what we've been working on and kind of our life's work and being able to share that with y'all. A couple people are still messaging that they're hopping on, so we'll get started here in just a minute or two. But while we're doing that, my name's Amanda, and Keith is my son. And my daughter also runs the academy here, Olson's Martial Arts. So the family affair, which I know a lot of martial arts schools are, or sometimes when you're just starting out, it's the one-man show, and kind of build your martial arts family around that. So it's always people that you're working with and building and mentoring, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about in the webinar: how to take that martial arts family and then build a great strong group of instructors, and how to continually build that. So when one moves away or you lose one for whatever reason, there's somebody up and coming that can take their place easily and doesn't put you in a bind.
So we'll just let another 1 minute or so, just let the last few people come in, and then we'll get started. We got some exciting stuff. We are gonna be respectful of everybody's time and try to keep it right at 30 minutes. And then if there's any Q&A, we'd be happy to chat with you on here, or we could do a follow-up call or a phone call, whatever you would prefer. And Brian says thank you. That's exactly what he's working on.
Good.
Excellent. That's exactly what we want to do our best to help. So.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. And as Keith mentioned before, if you have a question, just put it in the Q&A, and he and I will be monitoring that for you. All right, so. Just a second. Keith, you want to give a little background about Olson's Martial Arts, about how long we've been in business?
Sure. So just the quick history. We moved to Johnson City, Tennessee when I was about 6 years old. The school opened up when I was about 7 years old. That was about 26 years ago. And so, that's Johnson City is home for me, since I was a kid. But so we've been, I grew up in the martial arts school, and of course we did martial arts in Florida before we moved up here. So I was pretty much born into this, and absolutely still love it every single day, and to this day. And we grew up, started the school from nothing, and I just remember being a kid and learning to help out with classes. By the time I was 12, I was really starting to become an assistant instructor. By the time I was 14, teaching my own classes. And then that was all she wrote. And here we are now. Another 20 years later. I've been teaching, training myself personally. I grew up competing a lot. When I was 17, I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When I was 18, I had my first MMA fight. I fought for 14 years. I fought professionally for 5 years. I just retired this year, just in my last fight. But all the meanwhile, the entire time, the whole focus was the academy and growing the academy. And then with my mom's work put into this leadership program, there's over 25 years put into this leadership program. And then we decided to, because we have been through those difficulties, package it up into a really simple, user-friendly, plug and play use for this program, to help other school owners get to the point where you're not pulling your hair out, you're not killing yourself every week. And so really excited to share that with everybody. So,
Yeah.
so we've been in Johnson City for 26 years. And then mom's been teaching and training for much longer than that. And then we've had our school has been over 400 students, between 400 and 500 students for over 10 years now. And so we had growing pains with that and learning to navigate that and um, keep that monster going. Well, again, not pulling your hair out and working yourself to death. So that has been uh, that was the quick version of our story here in Johnson City.
Yeah, I've been teaching. I started martial arts taekwondo down in Panama City, Florida when I was 10 years old. When I was 12, my father opened up his academy down there. And so, kind of like Keith, I've grown up doing martial arts and training and teaching and competing, taekwondo primarily. And the academy here has been in Johnson City. It's been open for 26 years. And as Keith mentioned, the last 10 years, it's been 400 plus students. So what I want to share today is something that solves problems for you guys that I've already been through and solved. And I've, had to solve them a few times, and I've come up with a way that really works. And for the last 5 years or so that we've been here, I have honestly um, really taught no more than, the high end, like 6 classes a week, 6 taekwondo classes a week. Now I teach 3 classes a week, and honestly, it's by choice. It's the classes that I enjoy teaching all of them, but the ones that I'm needed in the most, the ones that I enjoy the most, I'm at a point, and I have been at a point for many years now where I can take a 2 week vacation, or I can be here in the academy all day if I want, and I have that freedom and that luxury. But the problems I want to solve for you guys today, and you might find one of these resonates with you, is, maybe you're just opening your academy and it's you, and you've got that scenario where you're trying to teach class, you've got the phone ringing, somebody walks in, and then a parent has a question, and all of that happens, and you're supposed to be able to manage all of that and make everybody happy and give them 100% of your time. And we all know that that's not possible. And I think the part that suffers the most when you have a scenario like that is the mat. What's happening in the classroom when you're having to talk with a parent or answer the phone. And that's the thing that we want to help in that scenario. And then also, many of you are at a point where you're growing your school and you're getting students, and you're getting that, you've got that help out front, but on the mat you've got more students than you can handle, and you've got you want to give them that one-on-one attention. I mean, that's extremely important for me, that every student gets as much attention as possible, and high quality instruction in the meantime. So I've developed this program to make sure that that happens, whether I'm here or not, whether Keith's here or not. So getting enough help on the mat to where every student gets the attention they need, this also solves that problem. And then finally, when you are at that point where you've got your school the way you want it, but you also want to have a life outside of that school and have some free time, maybe the weekends off, take a vacation. It's hard to do if you don't feel like things back home are being run properly. So, nobody's going to get hurt. Are the students going to get taught what they need to be taught? Is everything going to function properly? And is it going to function not just properly, but high quality? So the quality that you set when you're there, that continues while you're not there. So that's really what we want to share, how to do that for you today. So solving those kind of problems for school owners. I've been all over the country. I've worked with countless instructors, countless schools, and trying to help them get this system up and running. And I think I've come up with a way to make it super simple. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. So when I say flood your school with instructors, I do mean that. We have people who are asking, when do I get to teach, my own class? Or, it seems like y'all ought to have a lot of help out there. Can I still come and help? And that is a daily thing. We are definitely at a point where we have a flood of instructors. So, but that's intentional. I do that on purpose, and that's what I want to show you about today. So creating more instructors than you know what to do with. Never be shorthanded again, and always grooming for the next level. Those are things that is just constant in the school. You know, I'm always looking at who's going to be the next assistant on the mat, who wants to be an assistant. Is that somebody I can groom for the instructorship? And then, you know, those people in the instructor training program, they've been in that for, you know, maybe a year or so, or who's going to be the next lead instructor, the next head instructor. So I am always on the look for that, and so is Keith. And even our head instructors and chief instructors that we have here know that that is something that is necessary. And you know, they'll come to me and say, hey, I've noticed so and so is doing a great job helping out, I think they'd be a good fit, you know. So that it's kind of the culture of the school is looking for instructors. um, so one of the benefits that we hope that we are able to offer you guys in this program is we can add immediate value to your program. In a minute, Keith's going to go over the leadership training, character development that we have for the kids that, you know, prepares them and pre-frames them for becoming an instructor as they age into your program. And then also having professional lessons for your class done for you. And part of the thing is not to say that you can't do that, because you know, if you're running your own school, you know what you want for your students, but do you have the time? You know, and this is something that, you know, when I was first starting out, struggling with the time to get it done myself, the time to train the instructors, that sort of thing. So this is a done for you. You don't even have to do anything but here's the lesson, and then you have something very quality to teach your class. What that does is provides consistency. So when you are gone, the lessons are already written. You don't have someone teaching a character development. You know, I'll talk to the kids about focus. You know, you don't have to worry about that. The focus lesson is written. The focus, you follow this plan, and you know everything's going to be taught well. The parents are going to be happy with what they're hearing. Their children learning. Your instructor training program can continue on without you being there if necessary. And it's just streamlined and easy to use that way. You could actually could start it today, and any of your staff members could follow the lesson plan and make sure that the quality of instruction that you want is happening while you're away. And like I said, all the work is done for you. And I think that we all know that probably one of the most important things that we have is our time. And I have dedicated my life to this subject and my time to it so that you can do the things you want to do and have this done for you and move forward with maybe other interests that you have. So as far as the teen and adult instructor training program, it is divided up into 5 levels. And the reason for that is because I want people to start at a very easy ground floor level, something that anybody, even a 12-year-old, could do this and be successful at it and start feeling like, hey, maybe I could be an instructor. You know, it's easy lessons, important lessons. So even if you're just looking to have, you know, all right, I'm going to get these 4 teenagers and I want them helping me on the mat. You know, they do need some training. They need to know some things, and this level is perfect for that. You know, or you have an adult, you know, they just got to start somewhere. So the beginning level is super simple, and you just build from there. So by the time you get through the 5th level, you're that's the person that you can leave the school with easily. You know, even the 3rd level would be somebody that you could leave and they could run the mat successfully. So like I said, we have the 5 different levels. Each one requires a little bit more responsibility. For instance, level 3, at this point, they're lining up the class. Level 4, they're warming up the class for you. They stay after help students. It's somebody that you really, really trust. And this would be a minimum thing that they'd be able to do. You know, it's been my experience that, you know, at the very least, somebody could do this, but typically at level 3, they really are ready to warm up the class or close the class down, cool it down while you're doing those things like enrolling people or talking to parents. They're handling that portion of the class. And then finally, our level 5, which currently we have about 5 level 5 instructors, not including Keith and I here at the academy, So yeah, our mat's covered, and it's covered even when they want to go on vacation. um, so here's a sample of the leadership program. So every level has its own manual, and the manual is something that you can print out and give to the people in your instructor training program. So they get a manual, so they have exactly, they want to see what is important to you, what do you want them to learn to be able to pass to the next level. Now, I do, when I have them go through the levels, I have them do 3 tests to pass to a level. They have to do a written test, which is based on the manual. Of course, that's included for you. They have to do a curriculum test. Now, depending on what your martial art is and what you decide curriculum wise that they need to do, then that would be part of that test. You know, we do Taekwondo, so for us, a big part of that is their form. And then they have a practical teaching test where I watch them actually assist. You know, at this level 1, it might be 2 or 3 students, and I watch them and see how they interact and see if they're doing the lessons, you know, teaching the way that they're supposed to be teaching. So each manual is designed to have a written test, your curriculum test, and then a practical teaching test. And when they've done all of those 3 and I feel like they're ready, then I'll move them up to level 2. Let's continue here with the session. The class structure for an instructor training class, and this is for your teen and adults, is I have a third of the class is instructor training, which is this right here on the side. This is the sample page, 1 page out of that level 1 manual. So you can see that the first thing is setting goals for their class, how to explain it clearly, demonstrate, and observe their students and make positive corrections as they go. So we would take one of these topics and work on it for a third of our class. I have a 45-minute instructor training class, so 15 minutes of it is working on this portion. The other part is curriculum review, making sure they're on point with all the things that you're teaching. And then I like to give them something fun to work out with, you know, something that's special just for them. So I always divide up the instructor training class into these 3 segments. And even if I'm doing a seminar, so maybe I'm doing a 4-hour seminar on Saturday and we're going to do an intensive, maybe we're going to do the whole manual or something like that, I still break it up this way. We still have a third training on instructor training, a third on curriculum review, and a third on working out. And that keeps your mind active and keeps the session flowing. And then from there, this is the part that I think is the most important, is the part for you as the instructor. Here are your lesson plans. Okay. So from that manual, when we talked about the teaching skills, set a goal for your class, here is how you do that. It's written out, it's how you practice it. And it is, it's not martial arts specific. So whatever martial art you teach in your academy, then you can apply this lesson to help them learn how to teach your martial art or whatever it is that you're wanting them to teach. And each manual is just like the class structure is broken up into 3 portions. My test is broken up into 3 portions. Then the manual is in 3 portions too. You have teaching skills, all right, and then you have where they're working on teaching, and then you have people skills where they actually work on interacting. You know, are you smiling, making eye contact, high five, you know, that sort of thing. And each manual has the people skills. And then you also have leadership training. So think lessons in there that help them learn how to be a leader. For instance, using a strong voice, or how do you build charisma? How do you talk to parents? You know, that's a leadership skill. So each training manual is not going to hit just the teaching, but it's going to help build a well-rounded person for you that knows how to talk to people, knows how to interact properly, not just how to teach martial arts moves. So I do love that about it, and the well-roundedness of it. I have students come back all the time that have gone off to college or started careers and talk about how they had a leg up on everybody else around them because they already had these people skills and leadership skills, and they knew how to interact and handle themselves. And that makes me feel great. I do feel like that's part of my mission, is not just to create instructors who stay here, but create citizens who can go out into the world and make a positive impact. So I'm going to turn it over to Keith now. That's really it. Keith, were you able to answer questions that people had on that so far? Or if anybody has a question on the teen or adult leadership program, it is all 5 levels, so you have 5 manuals. I mean, you have, and each manual has anywhere from 6 to 8 lessons. You can break that out weekly, or like I said, in a seminar setting, but you can spread it out as long as you like. It can take as much as time to go through as you want, how fast and intense, or if you need to spread it out over a long time to have curriculum that lasts for a long time. How you break it up is really up to you. And then I do start that in wherever we are in the rotation. It's when somebody joins the instructor class, they may get the level 1, but I block everybody, and we go through all the manuals, and we just repeat. So they may start right in the middle of level 3, which are great lessons for them also. But what they're studying on and practicing on is their level 1. So Keith, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you for the junior program.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. And guys, if there's any questions at all, just go ahead and put those into the Q&A portion. And just to add one quick note to what you were talking about is painting that picture of, last night, for instance, we had about 45 kids in our beginners class, and we had 3 paid staff members on there teaching the class. We had 4 unpaid assistant instructors in there as well. And that's one thing in our group that we go over how to create that environment. How do I get more people on the mat assisting that are, um, there on a volunteer basis? And I don't like using the word volunteer because that, um, gives them the assumption that they, don't have to show up. So, but they are, and they're not just, parents, or, green belts coming out into the floor. I do have green belts on there, but they've been trained. They've been intentionally trained to be good assistants. And then all the way up to 3rd, 4th degree black belts that have been with us forever that are just assistant instructors. And it might be, a father or a mother that trains as well, and they just really enjoy giving back. They've been doing this a long time. They just enjoy, assisting with 1 or 2 nights a week for a class or two, and so we kind of go over how do you create that environment where people are wanting to assist, people are wanting to help you out, and that's really a wonderful scenario. That student to teacher ratio, 45 kids to 7 instructors. That's roughly 6 kids or so per instructor, which is great. We'd really try to keep it at that. If it starts getting to 8 or more, that's something that gets a little tricky. Uh, our level 5s are also trained to teach 50 to 60 kids by themselves at any point in time. That's not optimal whatsoever, and we haven't had to do that in forever. However, we are trained to do that because we go do assemblies and stuff like that all the time with a couple hundred kids at a time. So our level 5 instructors can do that as well, so that the school can be running and you can have your top instructors out at schools, running assemblies, running field days, hundreds of kids at a time. That's important to have your staff go out there and do that as well. And again, some paid and then some that are not paid, just assistant instructors. Let's jump into this junior program really quick. I know we have about, I wouldn't like to go more than 10 minutes from here, just to respect everybody's time. So I'll just go through this. So everything that Mom was talking about was the teen and adult. Our instructors are homegrown, so all of them. So we are always looking at our students starting at age 8, 9, 10. We start having conversations. The majority of our teen instructors at the moment all had the conversations when they were 9 or 10 years old about wanting to become an instructor one day. Well, I like to lay out a very specific path and goals for them on how to do that, right? Not just say, well, just keep showing up, buddy, and you'll one day be an instructor. Okay, that's not how we like to do that. It's not very intentional. It's not very focused, and you might get a good instructor, you might not. We like to make it to where we know what quality instructor we're going to get. So it starts with these character lessons, the leadership lessons for the juniors. We have created 52. That's one for every single week. We do have some people that are actually will use 2 videos a month. That makes it a 2-year program. You can do 1 video a month. That makes it a 4-year program. So however you want to break it up is great. We do 1 video a week, and we just rotate through it every year. And that does a couple things. Number one, the kids will remember the game from last year, and they like knowing the game. They like they can help the kids that haven't done it before do the activity and learn the activity. And so that's the system that we have found works for us and to keep things moving. And also, we just believe repetition is key. So by the time they're a black belt, they will have seen our leadership curriculum 4 times through, right? And then just imagine you have an 8-year-old, now they're 12. They have been learning your leadership lessons for 4 years now. They have the lessons memorized. They can recite them by heart. They know the activities. By the time that instructor is 14 or 16, they can be leading 4 kids through the leadership lessons themselves, no problem. And the way that we've created this, again, is you could have this system, which everyone that is on the call today can get a free 2-video sample just to try it out with the written manual for those 2 lessons. And so let's just go ahead and jump in there and make sure we have time to watch a quick preview. The video is a little bit choppy when it plays through Zoom, so just keeping that in mind. They are very well edited, very smooth. The audio, I believe, comes through fine, but the video might be just slightly choppy. But let's take a look. Every video is 2.5 minutes or shorter. So the idea for this is to play the video. They learn the lesson. It shows the activity on the lesson. You do a quick recap, ask the kids a few questions about the video, and then you do the activity. So really, this should take between 5 and 15 minutes at the end of your classes. We do leadership in every single class. That's one way that we can really build value in our programs, and something that we can tell the parents is that every single time you come to our academy, they will get a character development lesson. And that to us is super important. And if that's not important to a parent, then that might not be the best student for us. We're looking for the parents and the kids that want the character development and see the value in these lessons that can change our lives. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video, and then we'll look at some more things about the junior program.
Eight, 9, 10. Today's leadership word is teamwork. We all know that working on a team can be a lot of fun and you can get so much done. We also know that working on a team can be really frustrating if the team is not working well together, and it can make you even want to quit and the team will get nothing done. So there's 2 things I want you guys to remember. Number 1 is to listen. Listen to everyone on your team. Let everyone voice their ideas and opinions. That way everyone feels heard and everyone feels included. The second thing I want you guys to remember is to let everyone be involved. Everyone gets a chance to be a part, but we don't want one person or many people sitting on the sidelines and only 1 or 2 people doing the work. We want to make sure everyone is included. That way everyone is doing their part and the goal gets accomplished. Our activity for the day is the Teamwork Tower. You are going to use the targets and objects that your instructor has already set out for you to see how fast your team can put together the tallest tower. Make sure that you're listening to everyone on the team's ideas and make sure everyone has a job and gets to be a part.
We've been super close, but it looks like winner was team number 1. Let's give them a big hand, guys. Nice job.
All right, excellent. So that video was just under 2 minutes long. That was the lesson that they go through on teamwork, and there will be 4 lessons on teamwork. And then you ask the kids what were the main points of the lesson. You can get the kids' answers, make sure they understand the activity, and then break up into sections and have a little fun contest to see who can work together to build the biggest tower. And they're all that simple. They're all that easy. All 52 of them. Are just literally plug and play. I have my 15-year-old staff that can facilitate this leadership lesson. And that way, when we are gone, so, we were out of town last week. Both Mom and I had different traveling, and I knew exactly which leadership lessons were being taught. I know that those lessons are the 15-year-old isn't putting his own spin on teamwork and what that means. I know that it's going to be very consistent lessons being taught, and then the activity is going to be fun. It's going to be run well. And so I had all the confidence in the world that's going to get done. And so that really takes the pressure off of the instructors on having to create a program. It promotes consistency with your classes. If you have multiple schools, right, then you know exactly what's being taught. No one's putting their own interpretation and things like that, which sometimes is okay if you have a great instructor, with experience. But if you have a 15 or 16-year-old, leading your classes, or someone that's just inexperienced, or maybe they're just not confident yet leading these lessons, then they can follow these guidelines. And we have found that it helps our instructors to become a little more confident and comfortable because they know the lesson and they feel confident in facilitating the lesson. So let's see, what was the next slide there, Mom, just to kind of wrap up? Got about
Yeah,
two.
I did want to mention too that each lesson is also written out. So if you don't have a way to play a video, you have the lesson written out, and you can still do that. And that's kind of here on the side, the written lessons, and then the 12 character topics. One way to also implement this program into your academy is when you do assemblies, or when you do classroom demos, or all the different things that, maybe you have the Boy Scouts coming to your school for, something. You can use these topics. Say, okay, we're gonna teach you the Boy Scouts. We're gonna do a lesson on respect. So you've got this respect topic. Each topic has 4 lessons to it. So you've got your seminars already written for you. You can do the 2 activities from respect, which would be plenty in an hour seminar, while you're doing other things. And again, you can step into a school assembly and teach something on confidence. Or you can have, I had a confidence building seminar over the summer where, invited the community in. It was a buddy day, bring your friends. I don't have to work and prepare for that. The character development program's already written, so I can use the confidence lessons, and there we go. It's all done for you. So I can, take the time to have my regular work day without all this extra preparing for a seminar. It's already done. So just different ways that you can use the material. But we'll go ahead and move forward here, Keith.
So just to kind of wrap up today, guys, the problems we're looking to solve for your junior program is adding immediate value. We believe that we know martial artists put a ton of work into their academies, and having this program that a leadership program that's consistent and just done all the time, really should be having your be able to increase your tuition, increase the value in your academy. We can talk about that more in detail in our meetings. So basically with our program, or I'm sorry, the other problems looking to solve is having your mat run smoothly, having confidence in your instructors, having intentionally trained instructors, not just volunteers on the mat that you hope do a good job, but really intentionally putting this program in place. And we can help to speed things up right along if you're really struggling to do a kind of a quick version. But then also, once these systems are in place, they just are always working, and it's always creating the next group and the next phase, and your higher levels are helping the lower levels and down the chain. And it's just a system that works so well. And I love it when I look out on the mat and I just like, oh my goodness, we have so much help today. Hey, so you can almost have some people take a break. There's so much help in the we're talking about classes with 40 or 50 kids at a time. So anyway, those are the kind of problems that we want to solve. We want to help, academy owners have longevity with this art and be able to save their energy and mental headspace and physical. It's a lot on the body and mind doing this 5 or 6 days a week, as we know, and we've created a life that, where we don't have to be doing that. We do get to take breaks. You get our junior leadership program, our adult and teen instructor program, and the physical manuals that come along with both of those. And then the live support, we meet on Mondays, at 1:15 p.m. Eastern time every single Monday. We also record those. If you're unable to make it, we'll send them out to you. Excuse me. And so that is all in our program. And also we're going to go into the pricing here just really quick. I'm not going to wait to do that after. We're just going to go ahead and knock that out today. That way, did you have anything to add to that, Mom, before we move on?
No, I think that covers everything really well. I want to go.